You might as well just took the character out back, put a gun to its head, and just blown its brains out. Thank you. Welcome back to another Deadlock patch notes video, ladies and gentlemen. Today is a massive update. Added 6 new heroes to the lab: Holiday, Calico, Wrecker, Fathom, Viper, and Magician. These are just temporary names for some of them. Introduce Hero Labs, a new experimental hero matchmaking mode for early hero design feedback. Now, you are going to be able to play this 2 hours a day. It's going to be from 9 p.m. to 11 p.m. that you can play this in. Also, you need 50 games played to be able to queue into it, just like ranked. Added commend feature, allowing players to commend teammates during or after the game. Commendations received are displayed on your on your profile hero per hero. Also, they implemented new character shader to improve player visibility and experiment with more stylized character model rendering. So there's a ton of general updates. We will include the link to these patch notes and all this stuff. Lowered the pitch of Hayes' voice, added proc sounds to Mystic Shot, stuff like that. We will put the patch notes down below if you would like to read all of these general updates, because you are an Eternus player and you're very good and you need to read these and you need to understand all this, then you can go and do that, but it is way too much to get to. We're going to get to what we actually care about, which are the item and character changes. Here we go. Restorative Shot. I've been talking about how brokenly overpowered this item is. It finally gets a nerf for weapon damage from 7% to 6%, and the cooldown on it has been increased from 5.5 seconds to 6 seconds. This is still an incredibly powerful item. I cannot put it into words how strong this item is, regardless of it getting nerfed. Rapid rounds buff. Fire rate has been increased from 9% to 10%. Monster rounds resistance versus NPCs has been reduced from 30% to 25%. So you're going to take more damage from NPCs, but this is not that much of a nerf in my opinion. It helps you clear camps so much faster, gives you more efficiency, uptime in lanes. They're just a very good item in my opinion. High velocity mag, bullet shield health increased. Weapon damage has been increased as well on it, but the bullet velocity has been reduced. So for characters like Warden, Kelvin, Viscous that have travel time on their bullets, your bullets are going to travel slower now. Melee charge. Oh, Shiv Nerfs. Weapon damage has been reduced from 15% to 12%, and the health has been reduced from 100 to 75. Long range now has minus 20% reload time and no longer grants plus 25% ammo though. Active reload now grants 18% ammo, but no longer grants the minus 20% reload time. Mystic Shot proc cannot miss due to evasion, so Mirage's evasion, stuff like that, it will not miss now. Cooldown increased from 5.25 to 5.75. I don't think this is a big deal, to be honest. It needed probably a slight nerf. This item is so incredibly powerful. Burst Fire now grants 20% slow resistance. Sharpshooter now has a minus 20% reload time, but it no longer grants 20% ammo. Tesla Bullets proc cooldown can now be reduced by cooldown reduction. Interesting. That'll be interesting to see. So now you can proc Tesla Bullets even more often with having cooldown reduction stacked. Titanic Magazine now grants plus 12 spirit resistance and now grants plus 25 melee damage resistance. So if you were playing against me in a game and I'm running Punch Shiv, which you need to do, say you're playing Wraith, you go Titanic Magazine, and now I deal 25% less damage with my punches to you. The nerf to it no longer grants 18% bullet resistance. Lucky Shot proc now pierces evasion, Mirage, stuff like that. Vampiric Burst health increased from 150 to 175. This is going to be a buff to characters who run this. Abrams runs it and uses it as a heavy melee cancel, so a slight buff there. Extra regen, I said last patch notes update, I didn't know why this item was getting buffed, but now it no longer grants plus 25 HP. Still a really good item, helps you sustain in lane. Valuable. Extra stamina. Bonus health increased from plus 25 to plus 35. I'm going to start running this more, I believe. Extra stamina is just so valuable to have. Movement, helping you keep alive, helping you secure kills. Just a very, very valuable item. Extra health. Thank God they finally did this. I've been saying this for so long. Now extra health is not just going to take up one slot. You can now upgrade it into Fortitude. This is very important. This is big buffs in my opinion. So extra health is going to be a very good item now because you can directly upgrade it into Fortitude down here. Enduring Speed. Slow resistance reduced from 35% to 30%. I don't know why they keep nerfing this over and over and over and over. I love this item. Please stop nerf, right? Reactive Barrier. Ammo increased from 15% to 20%. Okay. Majestic Leap. This is huge. Pay attention. Cooldown increased from 26 seconds to 45 seconds. That's a lot. Getting shot while in the air disables the drop down ability. So if you use the first activation of Majestic Leap, and you get hit in the air, you will not be able to use the second activation of it. Rescue Beam, pull speed reduced by 20%, so you're not going to be able to save people as easily if they get caught out in the middle of an ocean in a team fight. Sprint has been reduced from +2 to +1. Fortitude, here we go. Now upgrades from extra health. The health on it has also been increased, that it gives you from 325 to 365. Restore delay has been reduced from 11 seconds to 10 seconds now, and the weapon damage has been increased. This item is going to be played a lot more now, in my opinion. Find a way to fit this into your build. I think it's going to be a very good item. Veil Walker, the bullet shield and spirit shields have been increased. I don't know how much of a buff this is. These shields that you're getting from this item is not affected by your resistances. So mid-late game, this just gets blown through instantaneous by one Wraith card or whatever, you know. Superior Stamina. The spirit power has been increased from 8 to 12. Not a lot of characters run this. You hardly ever see this in higher MMR games. Maybe on Lash, maybe on Melee Shiv, because you need to be close range. You need to be able to chase people. Soul Rebirth no longer grants 15% cooldown reduction. This is going to harm Pocket. This is going to harm Shiv. A lot of characters really value cooldown reduction. This item is just very good in general, to be honest with you. And the cooldown from you resurrecting, now you can only do it once every 240 seconds instead of 212 seconds. So pretty big nerfs here, in my opinion. But the cooldown went somewhere else, which we're going to talk about in Leech in just a second. Siphon Bullets. Max HP still per bullet increased from 50 to 55. And here we go. Leech now has 12% cooldown reduction added to it. What are we doing here? Okay, this item is now giving you bullet lifesteal, spirit lifesteal, cooldown reduction. It's insane, but it no longer grants spirit power now. Woo! Cool. Anyways, now has cooldown reduction on it. Leech you're going to see this a ton more in games. Phantom Strike now grants 15% spirit resistance instead of 15% bullet resistance. And Unstoppable now grants 15% bullet resistance, but no longer grants you spirit resistance. And you no longer grant the 1 move speed. So I run Unstoppable and Colossus together with Phantom Strike. I run all 3 of these items on my melee ship build. So this is a nerf to movement speed as well. And Colossus, the slow has been reduced from 35 to 30%, like whatever, but the slow radius has been reduced from 14 meters to 12 meters. So a lot of these changes, if you're running melee builds, it's going to make it harder now for you to stay on top of people. And then they're running Titanic Mag, and they're getting melee damage reduction as well. So we'll see how it plays. But it seems to be nerfs that are going to hurt melee builds. Spirit items. Bullet resistance increased from 6% to 7%. Ability range has been reduced from 18% to 15%. Ammo Scavenger duration increased. Don't really know why we needed to do that, but sure. Slowing Hex, slow reduced from 25% to 20%. Improved cooldown now grants plus 75 Spirit Shield. Withering Whip, projectile speed increased by 30%. Cold Front now does double damage to NPC units, so you'll be able to clear jungle and waves faster if you use this on Pocket. Duration Extender now grants plus 8% weapon damage. But the ability duration has been reduced from 16% to 14%. So a lot of people get this on Abrams for his shoulder charge. So your shoulder charge is going to last 2% less amount of time. Bullet Resist Shredder now grants plus 15% melee damage resistance. So if you're getting melee to death by certain characters, you can run Bullet Shredder Resist and you can gain melee damage resistance. Woo! More nerfs to my builds. No longer grants plus 5% bullet resistance. And Surge of Power, when the passive procs, you no longer get slowed while shooting. The nerf, movement speed has been reduced on it from +3 to +2. You no longer get slowed when shooting. This is going to be really good on Mirage. Improved reach. Non-imbued ability range has been increased from 25% to 26%. And the bullet resistance has been increased from 12% to 13%. So they're trying to get more people to run reach. Mystic Slow. Health bonus has been increased from 100 to 140. And the slow that you get when you hit people has been reduced from 30% to 25%. This is fine. A lot of people run Shiv Knives. They'll go Mystic Slow, slows, hit you, slow, over and over and over into infinity and beyond. And here we go. This is nice. All right. Improved Burst. Max HP damage has been increased from 7% to 9%. So it used to be 10. Then they nerfed it, and then they nerfed it again down to 7%. Now we're back up to 9%. And the threshold damage increased from 125 to 200. So your abilities are going to have to do over 200 to get the max HP damage increase. Any pocket mains? Pretty nice buff to pocket. Superior cooldown. Spirit shield increased from 100 to 150. Superior duration. Non-imbued duration has been increased. And the imbued duration has also been increased by 1%. Ethereal Shift, active, now grants you +3 movement speed for 5 seconds after returning. So after returning, you pop Ethereal Shift, 3.5 seconds, you're just in a nether where you can't do anything, nobody can target you, you can't do anything. But when you come out of it, you're now going to get +3 movement speed for 5 seconds. You're also going to get 40% spirit resistance for 5 seconds after you come out of it. And it now just gives you 6% spirit power. It used to, when you activated it and you came out, it would grant you 14 spirit power and it would reload. Okay, no longer does that. Improved spirit. Spirit power has been increased from 28 to 30, and boundless spirit, which you upgrade this into this, spirit power is increased from 60 to 65, and the weapon power has been increased from 25% to 30%. They want more people running boundless. Not a lot of people run this. Certain characters do. Lash will get it. And certain other things. Escalating exposure. Spirit amp per stack reduced from 5% to 4%. Nerf to Shiv Knives. Misty Reverb. Slow now only affects the primary target. Spirit lifesteal. Spirit resistance and ability range reduced from 15% to 14%. This is a nerf to Geist. Thank you. This item was getting ran on more and more people. I'm not sure if Yamato still runs this or not. All right, so those are all the item updates. Now, here we go into the hero updates. Here we go. Nerf. Let's nerf my Abrams character. Let's nerf Shiv. Let's nerf all the characters I play. I remember odds made now, by the way. Melee attack rate reduced by 15%, time in between your attacks. And your gun fall off damage starts at 20 meters instead of 22 meters. So it's going to be harder to get people under their towers. So push their lane, get them under the tower, and then you can just left click them to death. So it's going to be a little bit harder. You're going to need to be a little bit closer. Just some bug fixes. Fix some cases where shoulder charge would bug out and would do a 180/360 on spellcast. Fix shoulder charge sliding against wall surfaces incorrectly, and fix seismic slam impact, sometimes getting stuck on objects. This is a pretty good change, if I do say so myself, for quality of life of Abrams. They don't know what to do with this character. Bebop, he now has his bullet damage growth increased from 0.29 to 0.33. Now gains 1% spirit resist per boon instead of gaining 1% bullet resistance per boon. And Sticky Bomb now loses 20% of your stacks on death rounds up. And Hook now returns troopers 75% faster than normal. All right, here we go. Now we get the people that you just can't play the game against because they're always in the air. Grey Talon. Base regen has been increased from 2 to 2.5, so you're going to be able to sustain better in lane. Gun spirit scaling has been increased from 0.1 to 0.13. His movement speed now scales with spirit again, so you can run around like a crackhead. And Rain of Arrows stray speed with stamina has been increased by 30%. I love it when they buff characters that I just can't play the game against because I'm playing Abrams and Shiv and they're just flying around the map and there's nothing I can do. I love it. In Furnace, we do one nerf. We do all this stuff to all these characters. We do one nerf to this character. Really? What are we on? Afterburn, tier 1 reduced from 30% to 20. Woo! Oh, wow. Ivy. Base bullet damage increased from 4.5 to 5, and the nerfs. Bullet damage growth, though, has been reduced from 0.39 to 0.36, and the airdrop slow has been reduced from 35% to 30%. Okay, I don't really see Ivy that much in higher MMR lobbies, so I'm not too sure how prevalent these nerfs or buffs are going to be. Kelvin, Arctic Beam slow reduced from 50% to 40%. Kumbaya, my lord, thank you God. Frost Grenade tier 2 heal has been reduced from 145 to 125. And then this one is huge. Fix Frozen Shelter, not freezing the weakened patron, okay? So people would go into late game, and they would just bug abuse. They would Kelvin Dome over your patron and just kill it and end the game. It's really cringe. So that's a good change. Lady Geist, buff. Malice no longer causes you to unzoom on cast. Nerfs, though. Malice, slow reduced from 20% to 15%. Good, because I hate playing against this character. Malice debuff duration reduced from 13 seconds to 9 seconds. Good, because I hate playing against this character. Malice damage amp reduced from 15% to 8%. But Malice tier 2 now also increases the damage amp by 7%. So just some give and take here. McGinnis, gunspin decay rate has been improved from 0.65 to 0.25. Mini turret cooldown has been reduced. Okay, so they're trying to encourage turret usage here. Mini turret spirit resistance has also been increased from 60 to 80. So if you're using any of your spell abilities on his turrets, it's going to be a lot harder to kill them by 20%. Nerf, spectral wall slow reduced So when you get a hit, you're slowed for less now. Spectral Wall Tier 1 damage amp reduced from 25% to 15%. Heavy Barrage minimum range increased from 6 meters to 7 meters. So if you're ever getting ulted by a McGinnis and you're close range to him, just get point blank on top of him and just punch him to death. Stay on top of his forehead and don't let him get away from you, because he's not going to be able to shoot within 7 meters of himself. Okay. Heavy Barrage cooldown increased from 106 seconds to 140 seconds. Heavy Barrage Tier 2 cooldown has been improved from 47 seconds to minus 50 seconds. And the Heavy Barrage Tier 1 slow has been reduced from 35% to 30%. Can we put this at 25%? Maybe 20, maybe 0%. How about that? I hate getting slowed by that character. Now, Mirage. I was talking about playing this character earlier. I already thought this character was extremely powerful with his Tornado, his Jin's Mark in lane, Fire Beetles in lane. This character's laning phase was monstrous. So he's able to get ahead in lane. He's able to rotate really well. And then we throw him all these buffs. Fire Scarab, Tier 3 max health steal has been increased from plus 70 to plus 80. So we are definitely going to want to level up Fire Beetles in lane. It is going to do undescribable amounts of damage. Jin's Mark Tier 3 cooldown between multipliers has been improved from minus 0.5 seconds to minus 0.75 seconds. Traveler fire rate has been increased, so when you use your ult, come into a fight, you're going to have even more attack speed. Traveler Tier 2 cooldown reduction has been improved from minus 30 seconds to minus 40 seconds. And your ultimate at Tier 3 now grants you unstoppable for 3 seconds on arrival. So this character always is going to want to be split pushing a lane and then teleporting in. You can teleport right into the middle of the fight and you get a free 6,200 soul item for 3 seconds on arrival. So you could actually run unstoppable, teleport into an enemy team fight, you're unstoppable for 3 seconds, and then after that, pop unstoppable. So that's 9 seconds where you could be unstoppable on this character. I will be playing this character a ton. Bow and Krill now has a 20% headshot crit reduction. So when you're standing there and you're just ulting somebody and he has a friend by him that's shooting you, if he's just hitting you in your fat head, you're going to take 20% less damage now, okay? Buffs to Mo. Burrow, Bullet, and Spirit Resist now persist while spinning out of the burrow. Paradox, again, don't know why this character needs buffs at all. This character is extremely oppressive in higher MMR games. If you show on the map at all by yourself, you just feel like you're dead. He hits one kinetic carbine and then swaps you. GG, nothing you can do about it. Don't have grenades in this game, or grenades. You don't have wards in this game, so they push down your tower really early, and then they just roam your jungle in between lanes, and it's incredibly hard to deal with. Pulse grenade pulses are now expressed as a duration rather than a fixed pulse count. You used to have a fixed pulse count on your pulse grenade. Now it is just a duration, which is also affected by duration extender. So pulse grenade can now pulse longer. Pulse grenade Tier 1 has been changed from +1 pulse to +8 second, 0.8 second duration. Pulse grenade Tier 2 has been improved from -7.5 to 8 seconds, so you can use it more. Kinetic Carbine T2 has been improved from -9.5 second cooldown to -10, so you're going to be able to use this item more, or this ability more, and this ability more. Both of these. Kinetic Carbine shots cannot miss due to evasion. Mirage. Kinetic Carbine can now pierce breakables. Kinetic Carbine now does 15% more damage on headshot. And the sound level has been reduced a little bit. So if this is what I think it is, Kinetic Carbine sound level has been reduced. This means that you will be able to pop Kinetic Carbine, and if you're playing against Paradox, it will be harder to hear Kinetic Carbine, which means that it will make it easier for Paradox to gank. Because before, you could hear Kinetic Carbine from a really long ways away, so you could know, like, okay, this character's here, I need to run away. I don't know why this character needed all this. I think the character was already incredibly broken as it was. 7. Lightning Ball cooldown has been increased from 23 seconds to 26 seconds. Lightning Ball radius has been reduced from 4 meters to 3.5 meters. Lightning Ball Tier 2 slow reduced from 40% to 35%. His movement speed has been reduced also. And Storm Cloud, his ultimate, has been expanded. Storm Cloud at span time has been reduced by 1 second. And the Storm Cloud rage increased from 25 meters to 30 meters. So they're buffing the ultimate because nobody uses it. All this character does is farm. It goes into the jungle, he just disappears from the game and just farms. Incredibly annoying hero. They can nerf this character into the dirt. I hate it. And now here's my baby. Look what they did to my baby. Base speed has been reduced. So I'm just going to be slower, more bored walking around the map. Great. Serrated knives collision radius has been reduced by 20%. Whatever. I don't care. I don't run knives. I run melee build. Bloodletting duration has been increased from 10 seconds to 13 seconds. But here we go. Bloodletting, the cooldown has been increased from 21 seconds to 50 seconds. Bloodletting incoming damage deferred reduced from 30% to 20. I want to cry. Bloodletting tier 2 CD has been increased from minus 4.75 seconds to minus 25 seconds. The final CD changed from 16.25 to 25 seconds. So before, when you had bloodletting at tier 2, it would have been. Is this? Let me see if I'm getting this right. Bloodletting tier 2 CD increased from minus 4.75 seconds to minus 25 seconds. The final CD changed from 16.25 seconds to 25 seconds. So now at tier 2, I have a 25 second long bloodletting cooldown instead of 16.25 seconds. I'm going to throw up. Bloodletting tier 1 has been changed to plus 8% incoming damage deferred, was a plus 5 second duration. And here we go with even more nerfs. These are probably the most major nerfs. Killing blow, your ult, the range has been reduced drastically by 7 meters. This ult now has less range than Colossus does. Colossus slow radius reduced from 14 meters to 12 meters. So Shiv, his ultimate is now a shorter range than Colossus. Disgusting. Killing blow, rage buildup per heavy melee has been reduced as well. So you're not going to be able to just heavy melee and get your rage built up as faster. Just makes the character more slow and more boring. Killing blow rage buffer duration reduced from 10 seconds to 9 seconds. And killing blow rage buildup versus creeps has been reduced by 50%. You might as well just took the character out back, put a gun to its head, and just blown its brains out. Thank you. And then we immediately go into this character. What are we doing? I can't even, with the characters I play, I don't even get to play the game against this character. It just sits in the air 24/7 flying around, and we decided to buff it. It's just a character I can't play the game against. I hate this. Gun cycle time improved. Bullet damage growth per boon increased from 0.55 to 0.65. Fire rate now scales with spirit power. Assassinate bullet radius has been increased from 3 to 4. Sure, let's make it easier for people to just blow me off the map. Assassinate scope is now automatically canceled when paradoxical swap hits you. Assassinate scope zoom level can now be cycled with right click. Use ability key to unselect. Assassinate no longer splits to allies the gold, so you're going to get it all yourself. So you got to get all the kills, and you got to put the team on your back. Flight duration has been increased from 8 seconds to 12 seconds. Nice. Now I just can't play against him for 12 seconds. That's great. Flight T2 duration has been increased from plus 6 seconds to plus 8 seconds. Cool. So even earlier in the game now I can't play against them. That's awesome. That's lovely. Viscous bullet damage growth per boon has been increased from 0.86 to 0.9. Vegas is already running a complete weapon damage viscous build, and they buffed it. Bullet damage has been reduced from 12 to 11. The cube tier 2 has been moved to tier 3. So the tier 2 used to remove pockets like affliction and stuff like that. Now that is going to happen at the tier 3. The cube T2 is now plus 35 HP regen. Spider tier 2 reduced from 60 damage to 50. And goo ball spirit resistance has been reduced from 70 to 60. Not really much of a change there. All right, here we go. Warden. This character got affected a lot by the Majestic Leap nerfs that we talked about earlier. Alchemical Flask weapon damage duration has been increased from 6 seconds to 7 seconds. Alchemical Flask slow duration has been reduced from 6 seconds to 3 seconds. Binding Word escape time has been reduced from 2.9 to 2.8, so you have less time to get out of it. And Binding Word escape range has been increased from 18.5 meters to 19 meters. I don't know why this website says that this is a nerf, but this is actually a buff. So you have less time to escape it, and you have to go further to escape it now. Buff, Last Stand, this is all. Last Stand Tier 3 now also grants you Unstoppable during the channel. During the 2-second channel where you're casting it to get it to go off, you now are unstoppable. You cannot be stunned, CC'd, slept, etc., etc. But remember that this character also got a massive nerf, because what a lot of people will do on Warden is they will run Majestic Leap. They will leap into the air once, pop their ult, and then they will use the second activation to land on top of an enemy team. Now, if I see you doing that and you're in the air, I can shoot you, and you will not be able to reactivate the second activation of Majestic Leap, and I will completely ruin your ultimate. So I think overall, Warden got hit really hard by the item nerfs. Wraith, thank God. Delete this character as well from the game. Card Trick base damage has been reduced. PogChamp. Card Trick cooldown increased. PogChamp. Telekinesis cooldown increased from 95 seconds to 100. PogChamp. It should be 95 seconds to like 360 seconds, I think. That's what we need to change it to. Telekinesis tier 1 cooldown has been improved from minus 28 seconds to minus 30 seconds. And last but not least, we have Yamato. Fixed being able to cast an ability while casting Flying Strike. Fixed Crimson Slash following in the direction of the dash instead of the crosshair. Shadow Transformation tier 1 change to 20% fire rate. And Shadow Transformation cooldown has been reduced from 106 seconds to 90 seconds. And that is pretty much all the character and item changes. If you enjoyed the video, please like, comment, and subscribe. It helps me out a ton. I will be doing video build guides for every single one of these characters. They will be coming out within the next couple of days. I stream daily, twitch.tv/THump, THump. If you'd like to come check me out, give me some feedback on the videos. And if you have any more questions, come ask them. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Thank you for spending your time with me, and I'll catch you guys on the next one. Take care, soldiers.